Google is in hot water yet again in South Korea this time, where police have raided their headquarters in Seoul, accusing the company of stealing private information from the country's citizens. Meanwhile, CEO Eric Schmidt sparks even more outrage, saying that anonymity on the internet is dangerous and that the government needs to review this issue. Here to talk about all the latest on Google is RT contributor and investigative journalist Wayne Madsen. So Wayne, first of all, let's take a listen to something else that Eric Schmidt had to say.
If you have something that you don't want anyone to know, maybe you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. But if you really need that kind of privacy, the reality is that search engines, including Google, do retain this information for some time.
Wow, scary words. What's your reaction to that?
Well, it's quite clear. Let's look at Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt, his company Google, has signed agreements now with the CIA and the National Security Agency. He's attended the last 3 Bilderberg meetings, and we know from a former NATO Secretary General, Willy Klaas, that Bilderberg sets global policy. It's very clear what Mr. Schmidt is up to. Mr. Schmidt wants to, along with this deal he's done with Verizon, and which was signed on today by AT&T, create a new sort of internet with different lanes. You'll have the slow lane with all the junk out there, the porn sites, the shopping sites and whatnot. And then the value-added content will be for only those who can pay for it. So this is the end of net neutrality. And what do we hear from the Obama administration? We don't even hear the FCC and the Federal Trade Commission doing their job of regulation. In this case, at least Bush was benign on net neutrality. It looks like Obama, with his guy Cass Sunstein over there at the Office of Information Regulatory Affairs, wants to basically shut the internet off to certain users who don't have the money or don't have the political influence to pay for it.
And, you know, Google has long been accused of having links with the American government, and now it seems like the company is in hot water in South Korea, Germany, the list goes on. Do you think those accusations are just going to keep flying because of all of this?
Yeah, we had another story today that Google's using spy drones in the United Kingdom to do street mapping. You know, it goes on and on. It's looking like Google is nothing more than an annex of the U.S. intelligence community, U.S. law enforcement, and that coupled with the fact now we see this thing where law firms are going around looking for copyrighted material on certain websites and then threatening them with major lawsuits with the whole purpose of shutting them down. These small websites can't afford litigation, and when we see that happen, we're going to see an entirely new, a different kind of internet altogether. And this Obama administration is in lockstep with it, and what I think we're going to see is fascism is soon going to come to a computer near you.
And do you think the outrage really quickly could eventually lead to perhaps a boycott?
Well, you know, there are other search engines, but let's look at, you know, there's Bing, which is, Gates, Bill Gates. I mean, is that an alternative? I think what they're doing, what these major information technology companies are doing with intelligence agencies and law enforcement is doing a re-architecture of the entire web worldwide. I think this was set in motion at the Bilderberg meetings. That's why Schmidt is a new member of that group. And he's taking his marching orders from the oligarchs, the elite, that don't want this information freely available, whether it's in the United States or Iran or Pakistan or India or anywhere else.
Yeah, and what's interesting to me about the whole story is kind of how reckless it seems like Eric Schmidt is being, as far as, you know, it seems like he almost doesn't even care about his public image. I mean, how can you be so reckless really quickly?
He's not the first one of these guys from the IT community, from, you know, Silicon Valley to come out and say these types of things. He's had predecessors in this before, and he's just another one in a long list of these corporate CEOs and this new technology that's trying to make deals with the government.
Right. RT contributor and investigative journalist Wayne Madsen, thanks so much.